Hello everybody, it's Hal Raines here again, the Parkinson's Potter. And using just a few tools, I'm going to show you how to take a simple bowl like this one and turn it into a remarkable piece. Here I'm using a rubber-tipped sketch tool to mark out the leaves. You can see here I'm just using a frosting tip, and that allows me to plan where the flowers should be, and it works surprisingly well. So once we've got the flowers spread around like we think they need to be, then we just simply use a belly-shaped carving tool. You can get it as a sculpting tool as well, but to go around the circles and to spread out the petals. Yeah, making all these petals does take a lot of time. It's springtime magic! I mean, really, we're going to be about flowers, so it's going to take a while. And yes, we're still carving. Seriously, it's a long chunk of time. So we are obviously still carving. Truthfully, out of the great amount of time that this took, I did not tell you that it wasn't going to be work. I just told you I wasn't going to use many tools to do the work. So you can see that there realistically was an easy 6 hours worth of carving on this. I don't really apologize for it because I do love to do the work. People don't often want to pay what it costs in terms of hourly rate. The pieces are beautiful, and that's the part that drives me the most. So there aren't too many more petals to go. We're basically at this point rounding out the petals so we get a little fuller look, a little more depth with some of them. And we've actually carved quite a few of the centers where the reproductive parts of the flowers are right in the centers. You can see as basically they're buzzing by them right now. And working on the background, you know, to get the foliage and the stems and whatever back behind them. And once we get that, it's a matter of shaping a little bit, carving behind the flowers somewhat to give it a little more definition. But we're definitely getting close to being finished here. So thank you for being with me. Well, something that I'm sure you've thought of, if you know, you've been working on art stuff at all, there is the degree of planning that goes into all the work. But in terms of leaves, if you have some flowers you've placed on your pieces and you need to identify those, that's called phyllotaxy. So you ask yourself, what should these leaves look like if they go with these particular flowers? So here I've already puzzled through this, and I'm using some leaves and some vegetation that look like it would be a cross between like a rosemary, and there's some lilies, and then I've got some other funky little pieces of foliage in there that should look like it's come from just a simple, like a foliage. Kind of keep that in mind as you're working. Okay, I've told you before, we're pretty close to finishing, and truthfully, we really are. There's about 2.5 minutes left, you know, on this little video. And what we're doing at this point is, you can see the little spoon-like detail. Well, what we're doing is giving the flowers more definition. So we're starting to carve away, pull some of the clay from the background to give the flowers more definition. So it looks like actually the clay itself is deeper than it actually is, simply because we're just carving behind stuff to give it that look like it's much deeper. Okay, so, again, we're close to being finished. We're just not quite there yet. Okay, so there you go. You can see that the flowers are pretty much oven shaped. Yeah, I could carve more, but why? Why would I want to do that just to make the clay thinner? So I'm putting these triangular hash marks in there, and the point is that they will cause glaze to settle in them and, give it a really nice background color. Just, again, another layer of definition, and that's truthfully what I'm about to accomplish, and that's what I set out to do. Now here I'm just working on the foot because the clay in the center on this guy was just a little bit odd in that it was thinner than I expected. Yeah, I'm just looking to see how much in the center that I have to play with. If you go too thin on this stuff, you'll go right through the clay. Not something you want to do because, geez, you've spent... Well, look, imagine if I did that. All this work would have been for nothing. So the end is in sight finally. What I'm doing at this point is just reinforcing the bottom, just making sure that I get my best shot to dry without S-cracks. And now at this, I'm just signing my name and patting that little baby and hoping for the best. So that being said, we'll go through the kiln and let you know how it looks on the other side of it all.